What's up, everyone? My name is the future Ian Machado Garry, the hottest prospect the UFC has ever seen. And here's my breakdown of the UFC welterweight's top 10. I could do the thing that most people would expect me to do, which is put me number one, because I have a gigantic ego and I'm going to prove that. But as I say, I have to prove that. So for right now, pop Leon at number one. Well, firstly, he's got the belt right now. He is the champion of the division, and you respect the belt and you respect someone who's gone out there and retained it and done it in a very, very simplistic way against two good fighters in Usman and Colby. So I will give him the number one spot because I think he's phenomenally well-rounded, and it's going to take a lot for someone to beat him.
The future, Ian Machado Garry.
Number two, you can pop my beautiful ass up there. It is my job to prove that I am the best in this division, and I will do that by taking that belt one day. And whether the champion is Leon or Belal or whoever it is, I will get that belt and I will be the best. But I will respect the person with the belt for right now. So look, I am phenomenally talented at striking. I am an amazing MMA fighter. I am well-rounded, but people have not seen it. And they have only not seen it because I don't need to take the fight anywhere else other than striking. I'm that good, I'm that talented, and I'm that amazing at what I do that it's easy for me. And I'm going to continue proving that against the best of the best of the best. And eventually I will dominate the welterweight division for as long as I want until I hang up my gloves and call it a day and spend time focusing on being a professional golfer.
Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Hop in Shavkat. Obviously, I've trained with Shavkat, so I have a little bit of insight into his fighting style. He's great. His fighting record speaks for itself. 18 fights, 18 finishes. He's well-rounded, he can grapple, he can strike, he's aggressive, he doesn't show respect to anybody, and he has a phenomenal skill set. He still has to go out there and do it against the upper echelon of the division, of which I am excited to see him do. But from everything we have seen from him, he has all the tools to become a UFC champion and cause trouble in the division. I would put Belal at number 4. I think I'd put Belal and Usman together in that same area because I think both of them have awkwardness on the feet. I think both of them aren't the most talented strikers, but they are awkward. And I think both of them possess the ability to frustrate people by switching stances and keep the ball rolling and keep people guessing what's next, whilst also both having elite level wrestling and great cardio. Both of them, obviously Usman has proven his dominance in the UFC division by beating most of the division for a long time. Belal has, I think he's the second longest active win streak in the UFC welterweight division. He is very well rounded, and I think both of these guys, stylistically for everyone in the division, cause problems. But when you look at the guys above them, me, Leon, and Shavkat, long, rangy, talented strikers, controlling of the distance is a skill set in and of itself, of which the three of us do it very phenomenally. But also all three of us have grappling, and all three of us can engage in the takedown, stop the takedown, engage in the grappling. And I see a world where everyone who's below Kamaru and below Belal, their wrestling and their striking is a problem for them. And everyone above them, in me, Shavkat, and Leon, I believe would dominate the way the fight goes.
Della, Maddalena.
I think Jack has one glaringly obvious hole, and that is his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu kind of defense. He was being beaten by Gilbert up until the point where Gilbert made a mistake and Jack capitalized beautifully. And he fought a guy who's not even in the ranks and made his UFC debut and had a very, very tough fight where he got wrestle a lot. So for Jack to go out there and, for example, beat the guys above him in Belal and Usman, we need to see a lot of drastic changes. But Jack is absolutely more than capable of going out there and sparking both of those guys and achieving a higher status. So for now, I have him below them, but I think he is absolutely someone who is going to be up there in title contention for the next couple of years.
Michael Venom Hayes!
You know what? I'll put MVP next, based on the fact that he has a very unique style. And what we've seen in his career is that people don't like fighting his style and they freeze and they don't know what to do. Kevin Holland is the perfect example. He went out there and he had no answer for what MVP did. So MVP's style is flashy, it's aggressive, it's a lot of feints, it's a lot of keeping you guessing, and then he blitzes you and he makes you make mistakes. So for that reason and the fact that he's very unique in his style, I will put him next.
Gilbert Burns!
I will then put Gilbert, because I think Gilbert has power in his hands. I love Gilbert. He's a friend of mine. He's got so much power in his hands. And obviously his grappling is insanely good. So for that, I think he can knock you out on the feet because he swings bombs, and he can out-wrestle you and out-grapple you and dominate if he gets into the mat. And I think, for example, when you look at him fighting anyone above him, I think he ends up not getting his hands raised, but if he fights anyone below him, I think he beats everyone below him.
Colby Covington!
I'll put Colby next. For all the talking he does, he's a very good wrestler, and wrestlers can dictate how a fight goes. He has absolutely terrible striking, but he uses it to rush people and grab a hold of them. And when he grabs a hold of them, he's a problem for most people. Again, I don't see Colby beating anybody above him, but I can see Colby beating everybody below him.
Joaquin Buckley!
You know what? I really like how Joaquin Buckley has evolved of recent fights. He's being aggressive in both the striking and in the grappling. I think he's finding himself in his fight style, and he's becoming a better fighter. But again, I think he beats the people below him, and I don't think he beats the people I've ranked above him. That's my UFC welterweight top 10. I don't really care what you think. It's mine.